So it's true. My son cannot read at age 6. There's never going to be a time in my life where I can say, yeah, my son started reading when he was 5 years old. He's on the Waldorf and Montessori schedule. It's different. But here's the thing about my kid. He's free.
What is up, YouTube people? Public school.
No pomegranates! No!
Some of us have been there. It's great. You go there, you get an education. Sometimes you get bullied. There's lots of benefits to public school. Then you've got homeschooling. Homeschooling is great. You stay at home. There's a curriculum, hopefully, and the parents take control of your education path. Now, what if you didn't want to do any of that? What if you were like, I hate both of those ideas. You might be interested in something called unschooling. Have you heard of unschooling before? Because I didn't until recently. And oh my god. Unschooling is basically child-based learning. It's basically the child takes most of the initiative. They ask the questions. They just exist in daily life. The parent doesn't really have a schedule for the kid to learn. It's just kind of like learning through life. Sounds nice to be like, okay, the kid doesn't have to deal with the roughness of school. It can just exist. It can learn from life. Hey mom, what the hell is this table made out of? That's until you realize the mom doesn't know what the table's made of, or basically anything. We're gonna go through some accounts who actually document their unschooling journey and just kind of go through it together, because in my opinion it's a little bit crazy. It's a little bit loco.
We have 52 days until I pull my child out of public school and start unschooling him. He will be in 2nd grade. But I want to share some things with you guys that I'm going to be doing to make sure that I don't fuck up his education or fuck up his future. Some of you guys in my comments, not all of you, most people in my comments actually are homeschooling or unschooling. And I love that. We built this community of people, this community of like women that really just think the same. And I fucking love that. Like that's been my goal this entire time with this platform is can we create a community of people that all think the same? And we've done that. So tell me in the comments if you homeschool or unschool, what are your best practices, your best tips, okay? So a couple of things that I'm going to be doing are prioritizing to make sure that I don't fuck up his education and he learns the skills he needs to be a successful adult is lots of time outside. This is going to allow his creativity to flow, letting children be children and not setting them in front of a fucking desk or a piece of paper or a book for 8 hours a day is the best way to get their creativity flowing. And that matters in life, especially when you're trying to do something that you love.
The thing is, a lot of stuff with unschooling, it's like, on face value, I agree with some stuff. I'm like, okay, you know, he doesn't need to be stuck inside all day, but also at the same time, you could do this alongside going to school or regular homeschooling. You'll understand what the difference is between unschooling and homeschooling shortly, but it's a little bit too much for me.
I'm going to take him grocery shopping. We're going to start a garden, doing lots of gardening, lots of hands-on stuff to teach him these things, not just reading out of a fucking book, which is what's wrong with public school. So I'm going to also teach him about money. That goes into grocery shopping, okay? I'm going to teach him how to be frugal, teach him how to shop for the things that he needs, not always what he wants. I'm going to teach him how to set boundaries with people.
I think also the thing with some of these parents who try to make themselves teachers for their children on an education level is that they don't know how to teach. They don't have the level to teach. I just think you need to have awareness about that, because if you don't know, I don't know, basic science, basic math, or even in depth about these topics, it's going to be difficult to teach your kid.
Now, a lot of people think that unschooling, and people will say, unschooling is giving your child autonomy over what they want to learn. And yes, that is true. But if you sit there and say, what do you want to learn today? And your kid goes, I don't really want to learn today. It's not your job to say, okay, that's fine. No, we're learning something today, but what do you want to learn first? Okay, that's how I'm approaching it. I'm not going to give my child full autonomy over dictating his entire education or his entire like little baby life, because if he chose, he would choose to do nothing. Okay.
A lot of unschooling, as stated previously, is based around the kid asking questions first. This concept just feels like difficult for me to grasp, because how can you ask questions about something if you don't know the stuff beforehand? Does that make sense? I don't know what I'm saying, if I'm saying makes sense, but you know what I mean? You're learning about science and your teacher will bring up some topic And because they brought up that topic, it will bring you to think of ideas such as like, why does this work this way? Or how does this do this? Or how do these things impact each other? With unschooling, I feel like this is not going to happen because the parents also don't know the starting topics or conversations to bring up to the child.
I know that I'm gonna figure it out, and I trust my instincts and what I feel is best for my child over anything else that the government or society has to say about it. So make sure you tap that follow button and follow me if you relate to this.
I don't even know how to begin my education style. I can't relate to public school entirely because I went to a military school overseas for military children. But anyways, in my opinion, I feel like what's wrong with public school, or at least the schooling system in general, is teachers are underpaid and overworked. They don't get paid enough. It's horrible. The bullying issue, I got bullied so much in school. It is unbelievable. I guess technically I can relate a little bit to public school because when I lived in America, I went to a public school in America. Oh my god. Let me tell you, it's not great for a child to be called ugly and disgusting basically every single day by their peers. It's not fun. Besides bullying, the stuff I struggle with the most at school is the fact that I have learning disabilities. I have something called dyscalculia, which is not dyslexia, but it's like the math equivalent of dyslexia, which means I struggle reading time, I struggle with problem solving, basic math, stuff like this. And I do think a lot more people have this than they realize. I was lucky enough to be diagnosed. They took me out of school and they were like, we're gonna just do some tests on you for a week. But this was my biggest struggle because I was constantly failing math class and I felt dumb, I felt stupid, and I felt like I had no help.
Day one of unschooling, and I've got my kids helping me to clean the car out, teaching them hard work, taking care of the things that you love, that you need, and also just needed the car cleaned. Also teaching them how to follow instructions.
Cleaning the car. Yeah, it is what it is. I've said it before, but it is stuff that you could just do during school times.
Now they're gonna go grocery shopping with me, and we're gonna learn about reading labels. We're gonna learn about math and money and spending your money wisely. When you're buying groceries, you need to make sure that the quality of it is good. So turn it over on each one, make sure that there's no molded ones. Make sure they all look pretty good. And if they do, you put them in their buggy. So far, we got 2 bags of yellow potatoes. We make homemade french fries. We have bananas, 2 things of grapes, 3 things of blueberries, 2 things of strawberries. You see the prices on them right here? You typically want to make sure that you pick the lowest price. And if it's a low price and it looks like it's a good apple, like Honeycrisp are good apples, we can get a bag of those. So we're gonna get a whole pineapple because if we get a cut one, it's more expensive. It's cheaper to just get one yourself and cut it. Make sure that you open them, make sure they're not broken. All good. All right, so when you're reading the labels, I want you to just notice where it says includes added sugars. How many does that say? 0 on that one and 15 on, so we don't want sugars, right? So you're gonna get that one, okay? And the whole point of this is that I have so much more time with them to teach them things like this that's gonna actually help them in life. Like actually help them in life. So if you're not a hater, double tap the screen and follow for more.
That's the thing with this video, is it's not bad. It's, it is good, and it's good that she's teaching her kids this, and it's not bad. It's just, I think, under the guise of that's all you're doing for school, it's maybe not the greatest.
Day 2 of unschooling, and we're at the park learning how to have fun. But before you get your panties in a wad, listen. Yes, we're going to be doing reading and writing and math and maybe science.
And maybe science. And maybe science, I don't know if I'm in the mood for that, if it comes up.
But it's not going to look the same as traditional public school. It's going to be different. There's so many comments in my comment section about, well, what if they want to be a doctor or a lawyer? And I think I've already mentioned this before one time already, but like the likelihood of my kids wanting to do something that they don't see that I'm normalizing is very slim. On top of I'm very proactive inside of my profession and my career of being an entrepreneur, they're likely going to follow that path because they're going to see how successful. I'm also going to teach them the right way.
I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry, your kid wants to be a doctor or lawyer. No, Probably not, because I'm such a good entrepreneur. They're probably gonna want to do the same thing. It's not bad to do business. Congratulations. I think it's cool, you know, congratulations. Not a lot of people can hit the economy like that. I feel like that is not a good mindset. I feel like you should give your child all the tools they need. Here, learn everything that you can. Shove it in your little child brain. And then that way you have all the skills necessary to choose what you want to do in life. Not everybody has to be an entrepreneur. And, you know, if everyone had this mindset, good God. I don't have any kids yet, but I cannot imagine in the future. Yeah, you know, I just think with my children, they just see me doing YouTube and I'm just so great at it. I'm just so, it's just, I delve myself deep into YouTube. I'm so great at it. They're probably going to do the same thing. Respectfully, hell no. If my child comes up to me and they're like, I want to be a YouTuber, I'm gripping them by the neck. No!
How many doctors and lawyers and, you know, other professions do you see where they're literally in debt? And most of these people are miserable. Most of them. I don't know that I've seen a doctor or a lawyer that's like so happy and, like I said, not in debt. And that's my goal with my kids, is I don't want them to experience being in debt. I'm going to teach them finances and money. And yeah, you do learn that shit in school, but how many of you guys actually utilized it and learned it in a real world way?
I mean, it's good concern. She doesn't want her kids to be in debt. There's probably happy lawyers and doctors. I don't think it's just a stereotype of like, oh, they all hate themselves and their lives.
So unschooling isn't no education, it's education in response to a kid's interests, and small children have a lot of them. We've had to arrange a lot of things in our business to make sure that we can accommodate the answering of these questions. So we got a cool little moment when I was on the phone with my web designer and Wiley asked me a question I thought I would share with you so you could learn more about what unschooling means in a family business. And then there'll be plugs for the different versions of the audio book, the book, etc. Something that's... What? Oh, etc. means I could go on and on about this thing. So if I say a rainbow has yellow, blue, red, pink, green, all of the different... Yeah. I mean, I guess rainbows don't have pink. But if I said rainbows have all the colors like red, blue, etc. That... red, blue, yellow, green. But instead of saying... blue and violet. Exactly. So if I didn't want to say all of the colors, but you and I both knew kind of where the conversation was going, we could say it has red, blue, etc., and you would know to fill the rest of the questions in. Does that answer your question? I think so. Thank you for your question. Thank you for your patience.
I mean, she kind of got across the learning thing, I guess. I can't say she didn't. In a vague basis is what that means. But if you look in the comments of this video, you'll have someone who replied this comment. It's etc., not etc. It's not all one word. It's a Latin phrase that translates to and the rest. Learned that in my Latin class in public school. Yeah, that comment makes more sense on an educational level of, yeah, that just means and the rest. Way shorter conversation than just on and on and on and on. Yeah, another comment saying that's an example of how to use etc., not the definition. It's a conversation.
How are you actually unschooling your kids? All they do is watch you work all day.
I am obsessed with this question, and thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to clarify. Our business structure is what sets us apart from like all of the other like success and business coaches that you'll come across. Because the truth is that since the beginning of our business, we've worked 2 hours a day, 5 days a week, and never more than that. Quite simply because our business isn't allowed to take up more than that. The schedule began when I had a newborn and realized that was the absolute max I could work without completely fucking with the family flow. And ever since then, like at the time, all the coaches were like, no, you have to delegate the children so that you can work more. And I just refused to do it. I was like, fuck off. I'm going to do this a different way. So it took a long time to go from being a matriarchy to a familyarchy. But because unschooling is following the kids' interests, we have to leave the majority of time open so that we can accommodate those interests. Now, yes, do our kids get to watch us work? Sometimes, if they're interested in it. My son solved a really complicated newsletter problem for us the other day when he was overhearing one of our business meetings. But now that we have the familyarchy, either I'm working or my husband is for those 2 hours a day, and each of us can manage both of those zones equally, and we're very, very financially comfortable as a result. If you want to know more about this, we're the people to watch. Thank you.
I'm noticing a pattern of parents who are unschooling their kids, and also they are entrepreneurs themselves. There's a pattern there, and it's also a pattern that they both have big social media accounts where they promote this lifestyle.
How you do this? I'm amazed. I'm amazed. Technique, baby. Technique. Good job. It would be ouchie, blood, na 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 na. If you cut your finger off, con cuidado, be careful. It would be ouchie, blood. If you cut your finger off, na 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 na. So be careful, my baby. Please don't do the hacking things like this. It's más peligroso, and that means more dangerous.
I want you to turn that song off.
All right, but
She's not, I'm sorry, but this is too much. She's not getting the kids' attention. Teaching your kids how to cook, beautiful. I don't know if you should give a child like a giant knife, but I'm not a parent. I don't know this stuff. Please don't come at me. In my opinion, I feel like that's a really big knife. And singing a song that sounds playful, it should be serious. It should be a serious topic. Just like really drill it in your kids. Hey, don't play around with the knife. It's not a joke. You will hurt yourself. There's benefits to public school and there's benefits to homeschool, and there's also some negatives to both sides. And whatever you decide to do with your life, it is what it is. It's your life. But I do think children deserve proper education and to learn as much as they can and get the help they need. I can see valid concerns from some of these parents that are unschooling their kids. A lot of it is fear and love for their kids. They want their kids to be doing okay. They want them to be well off in life, and I think that's, it's valid in some ways. It's like, yeah, you care about your kid, but also maybe don't. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. There will be more videos coming in the future. Please look out in the future. If you have anything you want me to talk about, please comment it down below or go to my Instagram and send me a DM. I will look at it. I will make a video about it.